What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Get Off My Lawn. I am Al the Geek, and this is a show with myself and Captain Xavier where we basically talk about anything foam flinging related or anything in general that we're doing or what we're talking about. Or, I don't know, it might be talking about old man pains and stuff like that because we're old and we're grumpy and we like to complain about stuff. Again, thanks for watching us on the World Foam Alliance YouTube channel. If you haven't subscribed already, make sure to subscribe. Also, be sure to share with all your friends, family, and other people, or random people you see on the street, especially that guy asleep on the subway. Grab his phone and share it to him. Trust me, it's weird, but you know what? He'll thank you for it later. Share, and subscribe. The more people we share and subscribe with, the more then chance that we actually make some money off of this. Because guess how much money we make off of this? None. Why? Because we need to make more money. The more money we make, then we can actually put it back into what we want to do. What do we want to do? We're the World Foam Alliance. What we're trying to do is actually connect everybody. There are so many of you, of us out all over the place, but sometimes it's just hard to find people. Through the worldfoamalliance.org, go and register, because once you register, that's how we know how to find you, and you can find other people as well. You'd be surprised that, you know what, you don't have to just wait till your cousin comes over to have an Nerf war. There might be 20 other willing people within about a 10 or 20 mile radius of you. You just don't know they exist. Again, worldfoamalliance.org. Please go and register. World Foam Alliance YouTube channel. If you haven't registered, subscribe, and share it. Please share it. You'd be surprised how many people actually find this interesting as well. Other than that, it is summer. So with summer, a lot of people are busy. So you notice that it's not because Cap and myself have been antisocial or that we don't like people. It's just that people are on vacation, people are busy. We're kind of busy. Well, you know, how many conventions I've been going to. And then Cap actually showed up to one as well. But we are continuing and doing our show. But we do have some guests lined up that are coming up. I know for Foam Zone, he's going to have people up from the Atlanta area. Also, we're going to have a few people in August. I don't know, can we tease about it? I guess we can tease about it. Anyway, he's a Canadian dude. He has about 9 million subscribers and does videos and stuff like that, first person type of stuff. You figure out who his name is.
I've met him.
What's that? Anyways, there we go. Not just me, Captain Xavier. Cap, man. What's shaking, brother? What's going on?
I just woke up from a nap. Almost didn't make the stream. Yeah. Not a whole lot going on. I've got a whole bunch of the new blasters I need to take to the range and plink with. I've got 2 of the Venom. I've got the Striker. I've got the Knurl. I've got the Sender. I'm waiting for the Torrent to arrive. Yeah, I'll get to compare and contrast all of those. I was given a Proton. I don't know what it's called.
Protean.
The upgrade from the other one that I now can't remember the name of. Yeah, so new stuff, cool stuff. Looking forward to that. Looking forward to seeing. I did get to see a Sender in action, and it was a bit of a lemon. My friend Isaac, who made me the Protean, we went down to Walmart, and I grabbed the Venoms, and he grabbed a Sender, and his flywheels were not aligned. Ooh, packages. His flywheels were not aligned.
Really?
And we were not able to align them. We couldn't actually get them to shift on the motor posts, and we didn't want to use any more force because we were afraid we were going to break it. Let's see, what do we got in the comment? Griffin. Yeah, that's the one. The Griffin. It's the upgrade from the Griffin. Much more module. Magnificently module. Like, you can swap out the flywheel cages without the use of tools.
Wow.
It's all just pinned together.
I think I got to get one because, I don't have enough blasters already, but do we ever have enough?
No. Somebody asked, have I gotten any of the N series blasters? No, and I really don't plan to if I can avoid it, because it's another ammo type. It's like I have Ultra blasters and I have Hyper blasters, but they're just in the bunker collecting spider webs because I'm never going to use them because they're another ammo type, and I can't be bothered.
I feel the same way. I've noticed that as I'm looking through some of my shelves, and I think a major clean out is coming just because I have stuff where it's like, I'm never going to use this. So I haven't decided exactly where. It might be just one of the local events where I bring everything up and just have $5 and $10, and I don't care what it is, grab it. Or it might be and there'll probably be a bin of like, just take it. I don't care. Don't If you want to give money to local clubs. But then the other thing that happens is that I know the Maryland Foam Alliance, they do the county fair in September, I think it is, where they set up a booth that, again, it's local so that people can show up and know what they do. But then usually they do the same thing, donations and used stuff and other stuff that they just don't need anymore. They sell them, and all the money raised goes back to the club for a function next year. So they might be getting a large donation as well. I haven't decided. I just know it's driving me nuts. And yeah, it's got to go.
Let's see. Somebody asked, "Do I have the new rival?" I do have the Challenger. I think it is. Is that the new
with
one?
The banana mag?
Didn't have the big banana mag. I found it at a Goodwill. The box was there, but the magazine was missing, and the blaster was there.
No way.
I don't have the new Springer. Probably won't, because maybe I will someday for K26. I'm getting an echo. Why am I getting an echo? Why am I hearing myself?
I don't know.
Me?
What are you doing over there? It is you. You got two mics going on over there? You just want to try to confuse people?
Oh, I do have two mics going on.
Actually, you know what that is, ladies and gentlemen? It's Captain Xavier. He just in case you have not experienced or understand his awesomeness, the echo is that way you actually sit there and think, man, this is something else with the echo, and there must be like Superman and stuff. So that's the effect, and I hope it worked. If it's just annoying, don't worry, he just fixed it.
I'm trying to.
I have not gotten any of the new Nerf blasters. I've seen them, but I'm not driven to them.
I'm gonna do it the easy way.
All right, do it. I do have two of the new strikers.
No, wait.
And they're just.
I can't unplug that. That's the camera.
Yeah, probably not a good idea.
Let's.
But the two, yeah, I think the echo stopped now. I think. Say something. No wonder, because he's silent. Unless you're. Yeah, now you're. There we are. I heard a hello.
Noise suppression, special audio. Okay.
Now you're on. Now you're back.
I think I know why it's echoing, but oh well. Let's see. Are you interested in a bolt action etch shot micro reshell kit? I've never been a big fan of bolt action because they're almost never left-handed. I have one bolt action that's left-handed, and it's the Cynthia, which I rather like. I need to get make some slight modifications to it. You asked a question. What was your question? We were in the middle of saying something when we died.
Oh, me? Yeah. I haven't gotten any of the new Nerf ones. I do have the two. I have two strikers. I am gonna paint them up and see what I can do with them. I just like them very much. My only complaint, and it's meaningless anyways because it can be swapped out. I just found the butt stock to be a little chunky, but that's just me being picky.
Yeah, and standard buffer tube, so you can put whatever you want on it.
That's exactly it. So really, I got nothing to complain about.
No. What else have I been doing? We had a Borst event this last weekend. It was excellent. We had a good turnout. Perfect weather. We had, I think at max, we had almost 60 people on the field, which is cool. It was by far the most prepared I've ever been to run a Borst event. I've been building a trailer that has everything I need to run a Nerf war in it. And it's nearly complete. The only thing that hasn't arrived yet is the pop-up cover. I've ordered a bunch of pop-up tents for cover, and they're somewhere between here and wherever they were. And then another one, I ordered them from a website, and they've been sitting in pending forever, or in process. Need to reach out to them and go, give me my stuff. But I found something online it's not too expensive. I'd need to budget for it and save up for it, and maybe hopefully have something similar to the inflatable that they have at the booth that Dart Zone has. But
same idea.
40 feet by 40 feet.
Wow.
roughly 6 feet tall, and it just blows up using the same kind of blowers that thing used. And I kind of want to get one of those and put it in the trailer, and then be able to just go anywhere and throw up a Nerf war. Any gymnasium, any field, anywhere that I might want to go. Now I'm getting that echo again.
It is, but so on the inflatable maze, is it just a tarp floor, or the floor doesn't inflate, does it?
No, it's a tarp floor, but you could also just flip the whole thing over and have it be a roof.
So it's the top is open.
Yeah.
All right. The reason I was asking that just to make sure that what you have is a maze and not a bouncy castle. For the side
they
note,
have those too, but
side note, I think it was in Boston. I was at the Dart Zone booth, and this girl comes up, and she got very excited, then stops, looks, and then clearly looks very deflated, and looks at me and says, "What is this?" I said, "This is Dart Zone. Is this a bouncy castle?" No. Why is this not a bouncy castle? I don't know. You should have had a bouncy castle. I thought it was a bouncy castle. It came over. This is not a bouncy castle. I want a bouncy castle, but this is not a bouncy castle. This is the shorter version of besides her rant about the bouncy castle, which finally ended at bummer. You know what? Next year, get a bouncy castle. Okay. Thanks for that. And then she walked away.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Bouncy castle.
Yeah. I'll have to look into that as well. We had a lot of fun.
We got a bouncy castle for this. Then you know what it is? There's your bouncy castle. However, the end of it, about 5 of us are going to shoot you because you gave me the rant about the bouncy castle. You know what I mean? It's free, but you're going to get shot on your way out.
You're going to get shot on your way in. You're going to get shot while you're in there. And you're going to get shot on the way out. Let's see. What do we got? Got anything in the comments?
We got a couple of things. So someone wants to talk to you about a Lego trade, but I don't know if we're going to do that here right now. Lego,
no, probably not stuff. Right now. We can talk. Unfortunately, Sergeant Deplorable has gotten into trains, and he's probably going to call dibs.
There it is. We do have a phone line, but the phone line is not up and running. One of the men behind the curtain is not available right now to run that, so we do not have an active phone line now. So right now, just post your check. So sorry, Andy, you cannot call in and yell at us for about half an hour, but feel free to ask questions. And as soon as we can have a phone line open, we will tell you. It's called summer. I think someone's at a beach and someone wishes us at the beach, and the other one might be sleeping. Either way, it's vacation, so we're just happy to be running shows.
Indeed. Let's see, what else do we got going on?
N series or pro?
Oh, pro, definitely. One thing I thought was kind of interesting about the new Pro Blasters is they take angled Talon mags. And supposedly the sender can take straight Talons as well. Though the Torrent, I believe, cannot. I will be testing that when I get them. I'm glad I did pick up angled Talon mags. And I'm hoping they sell them in a 2-pack like they did their original Pro mags. Because mags. Am I getting a BK2? Not unless somebody feels like sending me one. Which so far no one has offered. I should check and see if any of the various companies that send me stuff have one. Though the last ones I got sent, unfortunately, one of them, it turned out it was a stolen design, and so I cannot, in good conscience, do a review on it unless I get permission from the original designer, and I haven't been able to get a hold of them. I've tried. Several people have tried. Like I would like to. I'd love to talk about just the nature of stolen designs in our hobby and how our hobby is sometimes good at dealing with it, and sometimes really bad at dealing at it. And there's no good way to really know what is and isn't stolen, and it's a mess.
It
Intellectual property rights are a muddled and complicated thing.
Yes, it is.
But as a result, I haven't done that review, and so it's kind of hard for me to reach out and go, "Hey, send me more stuff." The other one was a little Uzi-looking blaster, not the Woozy. It's not that one. At first, I was afraid it was a ripoff of the MPH-15, but it isn't. And it is hot garbage. And I don't really want to do a review on it because I can't really say more than, well, this is garbage. It takes a proprietary mag and shoots about 40 FPS and comes with FVJ. So the battery it comes with will not fit in the battery housing.
But yeah, otherwise great.
That's great. It's in my colors. It's lovely. Horrible grip because they went with a straight mag and they should have gone with an angled mag because it's mag and grip.
Well,
it would be possible to make. You might be able to make a sleeve to make it take. Well, no, I can't think of any mags. Like it won't. It's straight mags, and even katanas don't fit. So,
paperweight.
Pretty much. I mean, I'd love to throw some better motors in them just so I can have, because I ended up with 2 of them somehow. And they're cool looking and they're in my colors, and like I'd love it to get these vaguely working, but I mean, I got 1 mag each and then they're empty. But
yeah, that's a no.
Let's see, what else do we got? By the way, is there a way to get the WFA merch in Germany?
Well, we don't have it here yet. Part of it is finding a reliable supplier that will actually deliver and create our merch. And we know there are plenty out there, and we do have a couple we're looking at. We just haven't pulled the trigger on it. Part of it is trying to set it up so it is actually sold through the WFA website. That we are having some slight delays, not because of problems, but just, hey, manpower. Like I said, none of us get paid for this. We all have full-time gigs, and we try to do as much as we can. And the good news is, what's been great about the WFA so far, it's a great idea, but everyone we have involved, especially even behind the scenes, it's not like all show and no go. There's a lot of go there, which is great. It's just schedules are busy. So part of it is actually incorporating, most likely it's going to be like a Shopify site within the actual website so we can actually sell merch as well. This links back to my opening rant about trying to raise money to put back into WFA to do even more things for you. So yes, probably. I just don't know exactly yet. And there are actually going to be some meetings happening in the next week or two where we can kind of rally, reorganize, and then also help deliver on a couple of things sooner than we are hoping.
Apparently not. All right, I'll turn it back on. My efforts.
Did you mute yourself? I didn't mute you.
No, I'm getting that weird echo, and I'm pretty sure it's because I'm using a USB microphone, but my webcam also has a microphone, and I think it's occasionally the webcam is leaking into the audio. And
absolutely,
yeah,
that makes sense.
Anyway,
it wasn't me, man. It was that other person.
A likely story.
Actually, I'll follow up on the merch. Here's what would you like to see if you what kind of WFA merch would you like to see? You want to see
just
t-shirts, hoodies, a golf bag, dish towels, underwear?
Sam
socks?
Sam Brown is now, magnets, stickers, keychains,
satchel,
beanies, headbands,
a wrap for your car,
tactical gear.
I feel like your ideas are better than mine.
Let's see. Sam wants to know if I would trade vintage Lego for some Nerf blasters. It would depend on the blasters, but that's a trade I am probably a lot more likely to make. I do have a lot of blasters.
Yes, you do. You know what we should do? We should come up. We should find a unique throwable, and then put the WFA logo on it.
How about a little globe with the WFA logo on it?
Well, yeah, that's kind of standard, but let's do something funny. like example, a pickle, a chicken,
And
a
I don't mean just a ball. I mean like a little planet Earth, because World Foam Alliance.
oh yeah, I figured, but I think I think that's a definite yes. But I think we should also come up with something off the wall and ridiculous as well,
Ah,
like a throwable, like a sponge. Um, I don't know. Name something silly that you want to see sponge in, like
tiny lawnmowers.
tiny. See that a throwable tiny foam lawnmower or
Mm,
tuft of grass. See
hurl it
that.
at them. Get off my lawn.
See, anyone make custom throwables? There you go, right there, man. Come on, I think that'd be fun.
I'm getting WFA pillows, bobblehead. There we go, Captain Xavier bobblehead.
That
Get
wouldn't be too bad.
all of us as bobbleheads.
That would not be too
We are the
bad.
talking heads after all. I do have a Captain Xavier Funko Pop that someone sent me. They took the heavy from Team Fortress and made it into a Captain Xavier because he's got a minigun. And I've done that bit, the meet the Nerf heavy, and it's me. Um,
That is
yeah.
pretty cool. That is pretty cool, man.
So we
I
were
just
talking
have the
earlier about events. Where is the World Foam Alliance going to be next? Where can people see us? The next really big Nerf event that I know of is RAG, I think, because Mayhem's happened, Survival Fest happens, End Wars happened. So I think RAG is the next one. That's not till October. I'm sure there's events in between that I don't know about. I'm not going
there
to them.
is
The next,
actually
oh, what is it? What do you got?
the next one's actually going to be down in Atlanta, and Atlanta, Andrew Dartsweep is in the chat. He can post a link and then fill in the gaps that I'm missing. But basically, the Atlanta group is doing a tournament, and I do believe it's the weekend of August 10th. It's down in Atlanta. They are having a tournament there. I think this is the first season for it. Um, but actually, so next week on Foam Zone, Andrew's going to have a couple of people actually from the Atlanta group to talk about the event and what's going on. So in case you haven't heard about it, especially if you're local to the group or you that's a free weekend and you realize that you can actually travel to it, you can get more information. Andrew will probably post links or information here. Otherwise, next Wednesday he will be talking about it, and that way you can get more information to see if you want to go to it. Then also because even though we live on this side of the pond, thank you from Jaeger Colette's that Foam
Yeah,
Fest in the
Foam Fest.
UK is in August, and I'm not sure what weekend that is. Do you know?
I don't, but I would assume Jaeger collects knows.
Here's the funny thing: I am going to be in the UK, but I'm gonna miss it by 2 weeks. If
Tragic.
it is because it's like, man, if it only lined up, but I will be, and I'm only going to be up in Scotland, actually all over most of Scotland, but I cannot be. I am going to miss it. Yeah, there we go.
Ninth,
August
10th, and
9th,
11th.
10th, and 11th. So that's actually the same weekend as the Atlanta one. So if you're in the southeast, you can go to Atlanta. If you're in the UK, you can go to the one in the UK.
Yep. And then in October we'll have Ragnar Oktoberfest, which I'm not planning to attend at this time, but I will be attending Mall Madness. That's the next big one that I'm going to go to.
Which weekend is
Uh,
that one?
it hasn't been announced yet.
Okay. But it's going to be either like, will it be the fall or will it be the end of summer?
It's usually October. I think they tend to wait until after RAG announces so they don't end up conflicting.
Smart. And now it's probably making sure the facility is available.
Yeah, that too.
Not too
So that's going
bad.
to be fun. I'm interested to see how much they change from last year. I really liked the mechanics and the rules and the scenario last year. They changed it a lot from the year before, and so everything that I'd learned the year before was useless, and I made some choices I would have done differently if I'd had the chance. And so I'm hoping they don't change as much this year so that I can actually apply what I learned last year. uh,
Probably a good idea.
APOC and
We are
BPOC.
correct. That's
August 3rd
actually
and 4th. I
that's
thought
next
this already
weekend.
happened. No, that was Armageddon.
Correct.
Armageddon already
Armageddon just
happened?
happened. Yep.
APOC, BPOC, yeah.
So APOC and BPOC is happening next weekend, Saturday and Sunday. It is up in Manchester, New Jersey, at the paintball field. Come on, there it is. I know it too. As soon as someone says it, I keep forgetting it. But yeah, definitely do not forget about APOC up in Jersey. That's also a fun event as well. And you got BPOC on the Sunday. So again, if you're in the Northeast, if you find yourself free that weekend, Andrew, aka Dart Sweep, he will be there. He will be there that weekend. I will not be. I have a convention. I'm going to be at Otakon in DC. So, yeah, I kind of paid for that one, so I got to be here. The 1 year, one of them have got to move. Either APOC and BPOC got to pick a new weekend, or Otakon's got to pick a new weekend. So I actually go out and attend it. But yeah, if you're up in the New Jersey area or want to drive to New Jersey, APOC and BPOC. If you want to drive to the DC area, it is not a foam flinging event, but it's just me at Otakon, and it is an anime. It's an anime convention. It is based on Japanese culture. I will have a booth and I'll be selling my usual stuff. If you come by and say hi. I will be there with Nate, Wolfguard Cosplay. It'll be the two of us manning the booth, and I will be the quiet one. He'll be yelling at you randomly because he'll know exactly what you're wearing. And you're muted, Cap.
Why am I?
And you're in, but now you're out again.
What did I get? How about now?
There you go. Now we got you.
Weird issues. Oh, great. Now I can hear myself again. Nope. The voices are back.
You were going to say about Nate yelling at people?
Oh yeah, he knows every character. He knows what to say, what lines to just. And I talked about it last time. It's just really cool seeing him interact with people because he knows even the obscure ones, and people get really excited when somebody recognizes their really obscure costume, which is just cool to watch. Anyone gonna get the clear? There's clear worker harriers now.
Oh yeah, dude.
I will give that a miss. In general, though, I mean, I already have 3.
You're saying that, but go check out the pictures because they're clear, but inside they have like 3 different colors as well. So it's predominantly clear with the color flare. And I thought the same thing until I look at it and I'm like, damn it, I may have to get one. So you've been warned.
I've been warned. All right. Well,
you've been warned. You might like it more than you think.
Let's see. See if I can find any.
Go look it up.
Transparent Harrier is coming.
Yeah.
So if they were a trans orange, I'd be tempted, but now I'd have to trans orange them myself, and that's work.
It is. But like every time the new one comes out, magically there's no orange, but suddenly Luke has orange. So
suddenly, yeah, he just reaches directly to him and like, "Hey, give me an orange one. I want orange."
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yep. Yes, sir, Mr. Goodman. We do for you. As it should be. I mean, he is their largest distributor in the U.S.
Absolutely.
Even Hasbro can't get away from him now.
I still regret that we didn't. So when we had the Dart Zone trailer, that we did not, because we literally drove within 10 minutes of, I think, Hasbro headquarters. We should have did a loop in the parking lot, parked it, got out, and took a picture of the Dart Zone booth in front of Nerf.
Done donuts in their parking lot. Leave some graffiti on the ground and chalk.
Yes, you have a big fancy building, but man, we still got cooler stuff than you do.
Yeah. The days of Nerf dominance are past. Yeah. I'm waiting for the torrent to arrive, and then I'm going to do a video with all of the new stuff just to compare and contrast. You know, the prices. You know, the torrent is lower FPS than like the Nexus or the Striker, but it's also smaller. It's also cheaper. The sender seems to be thoroughly underperforming compared to the Venom, and they're the same price.
I can tell your sheer excitement about recanting this, how much you're looking forward to this.
Yeah, well, part of the problem is my mic is all messed up, and if I don't talk in a calm voice, it's ringing in my ears.
Uh,
But
or
actually, I am excited to play with those ones because I've seen videos from, or generally I don't watch other people's reviews because I'd rather form my own opinion.
Yes.
But it is good to look at it sometimes because sometimes they spot a feature or something that I didn't even notice, and then I'm afterwards going, oh yeah, that's a thing. I should have brought that up.
I was going to, but yeah. Well, I think in terms of World Foam Alliance being available, so I know just because, so then the last of the convention series this year with Dart Zone is going to happen in Chicago. That's the weekend of August, like 17th. I will be going to that one. That is the last one of the Fan Expo ones. So if you're anywhere near the Chicago area, come check us out. There is the new inflatable. It's similar to the old one, but it's even bigger, as Cap experienced himself. And so,
yeah, it's an impressive edifice. What he needs to get are some reactive targets.
yes, he's put in a request for those. We're just waiting until someone says yes to him. So that would be fun. So it's a process.
A lot of people come up going, okay, so what am I supposed to do? Like just plink, just for fun. Like,
Yeah.
give them something to plink at. Get them targets that fall down and come back up again. I've actually got some neat ones that Bluetooth to your phone and that network to each other, so you can set up games. So you can have like verses where it'll turn green and okay, it's the green person needs to shoot that one that turned green, and then one will turn red, and the red person needs to shoot that one, and there's a whole bunch of different games that are all just controlled through a phone, and they're self-resetting targets. I got sent 2 of those. If you got even more of them, I think you can link up to 6 or 8 of them, and you can actually have some fairly complicated scenarios. And instead of just shoot the dart out of my hand, you could have a competition of whoever wins the game gets the discount.
Absolutely. No, it's stuff like that. And again, it's not like Dart Zone's been doing conventions for years. And the fact that no one's had shooting booths at conventions. It's not like I've been doing it forever. I've been doing it for the past 6-7 years. And I know locally, like just getting my own stuff in, they were always nervous about it, restrictions where I couldn't even bring any kind of ammo types just in case, because there was fear of people like using them. The fact that now with the booth, they're actually very excited about it and bringing them in. So it's definitely a process, and it's working well because it is being received well. So it's also an evolution in terms of what makes sense, what people want to see, and just how effective it is there. So the first and foremost thing is big, so you won't miss it and you'll come out to it. But then also they're trying to make it again, trying to enhance the experience even more, which is awesome. But again, that'll be in Chicago. That is the weekend of August 17th. I will be there. Andrew, aka Dart Sweep, will also be there. We'll probably have a couple other people that may show up randomly. We will be posting as soon as we get confirmation. But also, if you're anywhere near the Chicago area, you're going to be in Chicago, or you decided you're going to drive out to Chicago and see us, come see us. We're there all 3 days. And you get to hang out.
In Chicago, I think. My father was
from
Chicago.
Oh,
yeah, my father was from Chicago.
Oh. So might there be a sneaky trip? But we can't talk about that until you know if it's going to be a sneaky trip.
No, I think I'm booked that weekend.
Then never mind. He will not be there. Is it because I'm there? I see how this is.
Yeah, we can't have us both in the same spot. There's too much awesome in one room. It just wouldn't work. But speaking of conventions, that's one of the things that the reason I'm really looking at that maze was that would be something that I could take to a convention and throw up in a conference room if there was one big enough.
Yes.
And run Nerf Wars in a maze. Just at a con, just because it would be awesome. Bring a trunk full of like hammer shots, or probably rival. Maybe just a boatload of knockouts and takedowns and fates, and just single shot rival blasters, or internal magazine rival blasters, and because then you don't have to worry about them getting trampled, and they're really easy to clean up. And run Nerf wars at a con, just
You know how you should do that then? Because again, the luxury of having who everyone you have out there close proximity, you get out of darts and you get Skyfox to actually also have booths, which kind of anchor the whole experience. And then coupled with that play booth in the background, it is a great way to suddenly put a stamp in an introduction to, hey, by the way, you all need to check this out because it's amazing how many people in our hobby are people that buy from us. They go to many conventions, so it's not like you're tackling even more people, but at the same time you're tackling the same type of people that would be interested in what we do and would be all over it.
Yep. I was planning to talk to Out of Darts and Silver Fox and X Fox.
Why did I say Sky Fox? Fix my brain.
And
X Fox.
And Flux.
All the foxes.
The foxes, the flux, the oods, all of them. Captain, can you tell us more about the time you strapped a machine gun to your four-wheeler and drove it down the street? No, that's the whole story. I strapped a 30 cal belt-fed machine gun to the front of my four-wheeler and drove it down downtown Cottonwood. Got pulled over by the police because he was just curious. Like,
yeah?
What you got there? Yeah, it's a Browning 1919. That's what I thought it was. Where are you going? Up into the mountains to go shooting. I wish I wasn't on duty. I'd go with you. That sounds awesome. Get out of here. It's not loaded right now, is it? Like, no. Belt's in the can. Idaho, man.
Dude.
It's got its perks, but I do not miss living there.
Yeah, that's a different show altogether.
Question: why have you ever modded a barricade? I painted one once, and I did one of the first modifications I ever made to a blaster was to my barricade, and all I did was flip the on-off switch over. So instead of pulling it back to turn it on, you pushed it forward to turn it on because it felt more natural when you reached for the blaster in a holster to turn the on switch on as you grabbed the grip and then pulled it up, and it would already be revving and it'd be fully up to speed by the time you got it out of the holster. I am planning to go see Deadpool this weekend.
Because
I got nothing else going on. So I will probably go either Friday night or there's a chance that Sergeant Deplorable is going to be here Sunday, and we might go then. We'll see.
Oh, that's right. Has he returned from his... Where was he? Was he overseas?
He was overseas. He was in Saipan. He was in... where was he? Kansas City. He's been all over the place. His job is like 85% travel now.
Oh, wow. So this is he's home for now, but just for now.
Yeah, he's going to be gone for most of August. So, he actually, this last Borst War, he didn't do any of the modding. He actually wanted to play every game. And so he got to. And the good news is that I've gotten my trailer so organized and I've gotten it all so well done that it just, go, play. I got this. Game ran smooth. We had enough moderators for the games that we ran. There's a number of upgrades. I would like to get better control points. Right now we're just using chess clocks, but I actually started writing the code and getting the hardware to make my own bucket timers. And I need to revisit that. Because all I want them to do is count down 33 minutes. And eventually I'd probably add more features, but to start with, I just want it where if you hit the red button, it starts the red timer. If you hit the blue button, it stops the blue timer and counts down. And then when it ends, the winning one just blinks.
Maryland Foam Alliance has got a great set. So if you have some challenges, let me know and I'll tell you exactly who to talk to.
Yeah, I've seen the fancy one that's online, or there was a fancy one online, but I didn't want to. I wanted to start simple and build up because I looked at their code and it gave me nightmares. Because the person who designed it was absolutely not a software engineer. All of their code was copied and pasted from the internet, and it looked like it, and it made me sad. But I have no doubt that it works. That's the thing. You're just looking at it going, oh my God. Somebody teach this man object-oriented code for the love of God. So yeah, I wanted to start simple and then just add features, but do it in an object-oriented manner, so it's clean. There's
Absolutely.
probably a better one out there. I just haven't looked in a while. Earlier today, I spent over an hour making a reference sheet for an OC in MS Paint. OC.
Original
What is
character.
an OC? Oh.
Yeah. I do believe.
Could be.
I think so.
Never.
So I think
I'm going to be hopefully hosting a tournament. We were aiming for early next month, but we haven't gotten anywhere in the planning, so it may get pushed to September, or it might just get pushed to late August. But I'm hosting a tournament here at my place, a small one, with King of Games. I want to start the concept of hosting full proper tournaments. So it will have registered teams. It will have a full bracket. It will have an entry fee. It will have prizes. We're just working out the field setup, because the field that I have is not a flat symmetrical field.
No.
It is a somewhat asymmetric field.
Yep.
But I have expanded it. The other option is that by then I will have the arena rebuilt in a fully symmetrical configuration, and we could hypothetically run a tournament in the arena. And there were some interesting games that you could run in there, because the problem we had before is the arena is relatively narrow but very long, and it tended to always end up just a stalemate in the middle.
Yep.
The two teams just shooting across no man's land. And so I tried finding either introducing respawn mechanics that allowed you to easily respawn anywhere on the field or different places in the field, which allowed you to flank opponents and move around, and it ended up opening the field up more. And we also developed a number of scenarios that were, you had to use the whole field to complete them. And if we were to play something like Flag Dash, where you have to go from one end of the field to the other, then that opens up the field a lot more. And the way that we're setting up the arena, there are a lot of different paths with a lot of cover that would allow you to sneak through potentially. But also the occasional bottleneck where, if you put one person on defense and the other people go offense, and an enemy manages to get past them, it would be interesting to see. And
Have you already started taking it down, or you already have the plan and are slowly reworking it?
So what I set up last time is, previously we just had panels set up in various places, and you kind of created a maze. But there wasn't enough tarp panels to make it a particularly dense maze.
Yeah.
And what I did is I got raw tarp material, just rolls of it, 100-foot rolls of 8-foot tarp, or previously it was 6-foot tarp, and we were able to make a much denser, and we made it into buildings, so it was more of an urban setup. So there were staggered city buildings, and then inside the buildings there were multiple rooms with multiple doorways and multiple windows. And it made for a much more dynamic play, because if you went into the building, then you couldn't see people who were running past you outside the building. You could go around a building and come in from the other side and get in behind people, and you could try to jump from building to building and stay under cover, and it made for a very dynamic playing field. And we did like a Counter-Strike game where one team goes in and plants a bunch of bombs, and then the other team has to go in and try to defuse them while fighting the other team. Good old, original Counter-Strike style. And that was another one where it ended up using the whole field, because they could plant the bombs anywhere on the entirety of the field, but people could respawn at either end of the field or at the middle of the field. And so you were constantly, it was chaos, but it was chaos that used the entire field, which was nice. So
absolutely,
that is the goal. We will
because the field you're talking about is that collection of pines that you have. And so I guess my whole thing was that you had the outside wrap with a high mesh to contain the arena, but I can't
Yeah.
remember if you had that mesh also in the arena to cause walls, or was it just
No.
on the outside?
No, it's only on the outside, though I do
That's
have a
right.
lot more of that material, and one of the plans was to use it to create walls that you couldn't shoot through, but you could see through, which is a whole different
Yep.
strategic thing. And, I might do it to make windows on the buildings, cut out a hole for the window, but then cover it with the mesh so you can see through it, but you can't shoot through it.
Yep.
One of the things I've been meaning to do for a long time was create more interesting wall panels, get a lot more tarps and create more interesting wall panels, ones that had doors or windows or narrow slits to shoot through or things like that. But what I ended up getting was 8-foot tarp, which means it'll be almost the same height as the scaffolding. Because I believe that's 8 foot high. So you won't be. One of the issues we had when we had 6 foot was they kind of sagged a little, and there were people who were more than 6 feet tall, and they would shoot over the walls. And like that.
Boo.
That's not what we're after here. We want it to feel contained, and so going to 8-foot
Yes.
walls. The problem is I can't hang 8-foot walls by myself, so we're doing a crew build day where they're going to come down and we're going to try to get the whole arena rebuilt and set up so I can host my own private events again, because I haven't done one since I think February. Might have
Oh
been
wow,
May.
dude.
We did
Yeah.
one early in the year, and I haven't done one since. It's just been too much else going on, and so
No, that
that
makes
was one
sense.
of the reasons I wanted to work with Kale and get him up here. For that,
Good,
I
because
definitely look at some other stuff, but
if you can get
yeah,
that done, if you can get that done before I show up, that'd be great. That way I don't have to do it.
the walls we're actually hanging next Tuesday.
Perfect.
So that should be set up, and hopefully the way I'm hoping to hang them, they will be more durable than previously. Because previously with the 6-foot wall, I knew it was going to be temporary, so I just stapled them up, and the staples did not hold up to the wind.
No, no. I
um,
don't care yeah, that's too much of a sale. That's not gonna
yeah,
happen.
so
Not too
the new
bad.
ones will be hung the same way that I hung the scaffolding netting, which is with screws and really big washers.
Yep. So I guess on that note, a couple things because we'll tie him into this. So a tangent, but then it'll tangent right back to what we're talking about. For the next Foam Zone, Andrew, aka Dart Sweep, will not be available for Foam Zone. He's going to be with me in Chicago, and we will have no idea if we're going to be stuck in traffic or building a booth for the actual event. So Foam Zone, no, never mind that one. Not that weekend. Next week, whatever. Next Wednesday, the 31st, Foam Zone is happening. However, it will be a guest host. It will not be Andrew. Andrew is unavailable for that day. However, for Foam Zone, we're going to have a guest host. And the guest host, it's another Canadian. His name is Anthony. So Maritime Foam will actually be hosting Foam Zone next week. He's been a little
Cool.
busy. We've let him off the hook, but now we're like, you know what, man? Stop being lazy. You got to go host a show and go talk to people because people think that you're dead or that we've kidnapped you and hidden you or insert some other excuse here now. Anyways, the point is, Anthony, Maritime Foam will be hosting Foam Zone. And the reason I bring that up is because myself, Anthony, Captain Xavier, he's talked about it. It's like we'd love to go to so many more events, but it's hard to. So Anthony thought that all right, he did Maryland. He did the Maryland Mayhem. He did not do Survival Fest, which he is still missing. Guarantee he's doing it next year. But he's realized he's like, I got to do another event. So we're gonna do something. So it's either gonna be possibly Rag, or I just might convince him. I'm gonna do the same thing we did last year, where the two of us met in Seattle and then go down and at the compound and go check out Captain Xavier and hang out for the weekend. So that weekend will probably be happening sometime after August in the fall. We haven't picked a weekend yet. We're not sure what we're doing or how we're doing. All we know is it's going to be fun. We'll probably do an event, or we'll just put a big sign out in the lawn that says "Go away, we're busy," and we'll just hang out and make stuff. We haven't decided. We'll take pictures and send videos and let you know if it's tied to an event out there or not. But myself, probably Anthony will head out there as well, and then we're going to try to um, well, we'll have the WFA out as well. We'll see if we can make it a thing. Now, with that said, there's another thing that is floating, but it's just an idea right now, and it's not going to happen. So, for again, we do have a guest for August 21st. August 21st, we're actually going to have Aaron Esser on. Aaron Esser, if you don't know what his YouTube channel is, go check him out. Aaron's been in this for a long time as well. He's great just because the man loves filming. And when he loves filming, it's all about dart blasters from various makes. Obviously, Nerf primarily, but he's done so many of them. And a lot of them are just like video game first person type of deal that he does. The great thing about him is that also what's going to be happening in the next week or so, he does his different series of videos that he has. And this one coming out soon is another one where it's all modded blasters. He put out the call, and I think I sent him about 14 of them. And I said, use whatever you want. And so when that video drops, he's going to have various of mine in that video, plus ones that other people have sent him. As a result of that, we've talked about it. So he's going to be on Get Off My Lawn. We were going to try to coordinate it when the video launches. However, people are busy. His wife is pregnant. So, life is just a little busy. So it'll be sometime in August. But at the same time, who knows? We might squeeze a trip to Canada where someone shows up with a lot of gear, and I show up with a lot of gear, and then we try to implant ourselves in a video. Like, mind you, this is no guarantee yet. This is just us going, hey, I have an idea. Let's see if this will work.
Sounds like I got a passport. We can go to Canada. Yeah, I would love to play either the villain or the ultimate support character in one of his videos, showing up with the minigun or smart gun or something. Would be hilarious is both. On one side it's me with the minigun, on the other side it's me with the smart gun, just shooting at each other off camera.
I think it'd be a lot of fun. Or again, I'll just bring one of my big ridiculous master keys and wear these. Either way, we can do villains. We can do villains or juggernaut ones easily. And I think it'd be a lot of fun. It's just timing, scheduling, and then also what he has in mind for what he wants to do. Yeah. Because I'm not going to tell the man what to do, but if he can use us, we will happily do it. WFA representing.
Yeah, I'm a dedicated NPC when it comes to that sort of thing. I do not mind being the good guy, the bad guy, the mook, the whatever they want. We've been doing that for Afterworlds for years. Sometimes we're the good guys, sometimes we're the bad guys, sometimes we're both. It's a lot of fun just to help add flavor, and I've got the stuff and you've got the stuff to add flavor to any video, because we got all kinds of toys.
So those are the kinds of things that we have floating around, and generally not like firmly on the schedule, but it's ideas we're floating to see if we can make it work and make it happen, which would be a lot of fun. So as we have more information, we will let you know. But at the same time, you'll know when it's coming, and come check out it as well. So that'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I think I saw the one of the shorts or reels or TikToks about Aaron Esser with Your Blaster. I met him years ago at the first Jared's Epic Nerf battle I went to. He was there. That's right. And Drac was there, and Coop was there, and between the three of them, it was like being on the bottom of a well. Hello, gentlemen. How are you? How is the weather up there? And then, PDK coming up to my mid-chest.
For him, it's even worse. It's like, holy cow, man.
Yeah. Even more so.
Oh, my God. I got to reach out to him, too. I still got to do that. That is on my list of things to do.
Yeah, every time I ran into him at Jared's Epic Nerf battle, we talked about me going and being the villain in one of his videos. And then we both, not speak until the next Jared's Epic Nerf battle. It's like, we should do that. We should do that. Talk to you next year.
All right, I'll make that happen. I just got to send that email to start that process.
Yeah.
Which reminds me also, because that's coming up next weekend as well, is Jared's Epic Nerf battle. I will not be going. I got to, again, same thing, APOC, BPOC, Otakon. Let's face it. I'd go Otakon first, then APOC, BPOC, and no, I think I'd stop right there. But anyways, next weekend is Jared's Epic Nerf battle. And I saw that I think Flux is going, Drax is going, and I think also, is it Legit Nerf? That he was going as well.
Yeah,
I can't
Legit
remember.
Bread's probably going. Coney Dog and Luchathor are both going with Flux.
Yep. That's right. Yeah, that'll be awesome. Because I don't know. Because well, I don't think Coney Dog's been. I don't think Luchasaur's been either. Has he?
Luchathor has.
Okay, he has been. So
Yeah,
he knows what
he's
to
gone with
expect.
Flux before, but Coney, I don't think he has because I don't think he only came up here since the last one. Which this may very well be the last Jared's Epic Nerf battle, apparently.
Oh, really?
So possibly, potentially, we'll see. Turns out, not as profitable as Jared thought it would be.
It's the challenges of throwing events like that and keeping the steam running. You got to keep it interesting and running. So it's like, I'm not. It's events. They're hard to do, man. They're hard to do, and it's hard to keep the momentum flowing as well. So
yeah, I mean, that event, I can't imagine the logistics of an event that size. Especially since it's not hobbyists. It's just parents and their kids.
Yep.
And so there's no concept of how a Nerf war is supposed to be run. There's no experience in how Nerf war. It's just 5,000 people in AT&T Stadium running around while they yell at them with a microphone and hope someone listens.
A little chaotic.
But, yeah, it's an incredible event for someone who doesn't attend regular Nerf events, and even for someone who has. The scale of it is still very, very impressive. If the actual running of it, like, there's no organization, there's no actual structure to any of the rounds, there's nobody's taking their hits, blah 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 blah. But just the scale of it is genuinely epic. I mean, the name doesn't lie. You are in one of the largest stadiums in the world, just going, good lord.
On the field, that's right.
On the field, flinging foam.
I hear eye protection is a good idea, as well as other protections.
Yeah, but also only a recommendation. But that's one of the things where the fact that the people running it and the people attending it don't really understand Nerf events. iPro is highly recommended, but not required. But they allow Strikers and Nexus Pros and 200 FPS blasters and don't require iPro. The fact that they haven't had a major injury yet is a miracle.
Seriously.
I mean, it's pure luck that some little kid hasn't gotten shot in the eye with a 200 FPS blaster at point blank range and ended up in the ER and he gets sued into oblivion.
Yeah.
But the problem is there's with 5,000 people and 3 referees, maybe, there's no way to enforce it. How do you make sure all 5,000 little kids have their glasses on? We have trouble with that at a bourse with 60 people. Little kids, halfway through the event, take their glasses up because they get fogged or whatever, and you're like, oh,
come on, man. Wow. Yeah. No. By the way, I've discovered a new red.
Oh, yeah? Ooh.
Check that out, man. It's not even more red than I thought. It's actually a little more burgundy. But it's a metallic red. And the interesting thing is Home Depot, the bear paint, the new bear spray paint, which is surprisingly really good.
I think that's what I used for the hammered bronze that I used on the pulse rifles that came out looking gorgeous.
Yeah. So I think with that one, I'm going to do probably a striker and a dictator in that. Most likely. Yeah, that's going to be cool. And
I got tipped off to a new 3D filament that's a really, really nice orange. It's like worker blaster orange. It's very, very vibrant, very rich orange. That's what my Protean ended up being made in. Up to now, I've been using the Hatchbox orange, which is a nice orange, but this is a nicer orange. And it's cheaper. So
what company?
I need to order a spool or 2 of that because I just ran out of orange filament again. Because I printed a boatload of silly shells because I've I've created a monster, which I need
No,
to get
you
around
do
to
that?
making a video
No,
on.
come on.
I haven't showed it off yet. So I got the wild style Silly Butts little single shot shell ejecting blaster, and I
Yeah.
got the yeet hammer, and I did those videos. And someone in the comments mentioned that they really wanted a double barreled yeet hammer, which would be massive and cumbersome and awesome. But it occurred to me that making something smaller would be a lot easier. And then I remembered that I've been sent a booster, which is a pistol that has 2 Caliburn plunger tubes on it. It's a
Wow.
beast of a thing. It's massive, rear prime, dual trigger. It's got 2 different triggers, one for each plunger tube, which is just cool.
Oh my
The
God.
one thing I didn't like about it was the barrel system that he had. He had a swappable barrel system, which was cool,
Yeah.
but I didn't like the way that he did it. It was too flimsy and too difficult to swap the barrels out, especially if you were in, a fight. Um, and so what I thought they should have done, and I understand why they couldn't, was they should have made it take Proud Papa barrels, because
Yep.
that's a very robust, very solid, and it's an ecosystem that already existed. People wouldn't have to go out and buy new barrels if they already had a Proud Papa,
Yeah.
or a Mighty Mama, or a Crooked Cousin, or whatever. The problem is that Out of Darts, their files aren't open source, so you wouldn't have access to the file to just graft it on to the
Yeah.
front of your booster. However, the Wild Styles files were open source, as are the boosters. And so I grafted Silly Butts' shell system onto the front of my booster and now have a double-barreled Silly Butts Silly Shell booster. And it's magnificent.
Oh my, the crazy things
And
you make. I love
it
it,
only
man.
took me 2 tries to get the print to work perfectly. The first time I didn't integrate enough flexibility, and so you couldn't actually get the shells in, because
Oh.
the thing that holds them has to be able to flex for them to be able to pop into place. And I
Oh
made it
wow, okay.
too rigid, and so I just redesigned it, added a slit where there needed to be to allow the flexibility, and it worked perfectly. So one of these days, well, next time I get out to the range, I will have probably the range day for tomorrow. I will show off my double-barreled yeet, or double-barreled booster.
Speaking of which, range day. What do you got for tomorrow?
That's a good question. Let's see. Let me go. Let me go look up what ammo types I'm supposed to do. Community. Let's see. It looks like Mega and Mega XL again. I gotta quit putting those on the list because people just always choose them. Uh,
People
Mega
know
and
what they
Mega
like.
XL. Well,
There he is.
I don't have. No, I do. I do have Mega Silly Shells, so I can just do nothing but the double-barreled yeet hammer to cover all of the ammo types. Because
I
I
think that'd
have
be
Mega
fun.
Shells, I have Mega XL shells, I have Elite shells, I have Rocket shells. Um, so I might just do nothing but silly shells for the range day tomorrow.
Ladies and gentlemen, in the comments, man, let us know. Was you want
Yeah,
just all yeet hammer all the time?
yeah, just nothing but silly shells, yeet hammer, wild style, booster. What do you want to see on range day?
Inquiring minds want to know, or at least ours
Yeah,
do, or his does. That way, it makes his life easier because then he just knows
yeah.
what to
Then I
make
don't have
instead
to
of going what I
think.
need. Nobody wants to
Yeah,
think. Why would you want to think, man?
thinking is work.
No thinking. Come on. Speaking of thinking, so watching Flux put together his Doom suit and everything he's added to it, and
Yeah,
I am envious now. So on my list is to complete the apocalyptic whatever crazy person this is look.
yeah.
So I think it's going to be next. Well, forearm guards I know what I got and I know how to adjust. Shin guards I have. I think it's belt. I know what I do. Where is it? Belt. I know what I do, but you know what I think I'm going to introduce, man? Some kind of like what's the best term for it? I keep wanting to say kilt, but obviously kind of like a leather skirt armor thing.
Folds.
Thank
Folds
you.
is the
That.
technical term.
Yes. Folds or a kilt. An armored kilt, but something like that. Because again, weightlifting belts, they're great, and they help hold your gut in, and they're solid. You can glue and screw things too. See, screw too. That way it stays there. If you knock it off, then you just ran into something you shouldn't have ran into.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I'm gonna do that. Especially if we end up being juggernauts and bad guys in people's videos.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I've got like standard tactical looking armor, but that's the post-apocalyptic. That's neat looking. Um, on my list, I would love to do a heavy Mandalorian build at some point.
Yes.
The Paz Vizsla look, where it's a lot heavier armor and with that same weapon. That weapon is definitely on my list because it already has a connection, a hose that connects to a backpack. So making that a proton pack would just be obscenely easy. And
if only you did stuff like that.
If only I did stuff like that. And the blaster itself is also built on an MG42, just like the smart gun is. It's just 3 barrels, which again, you'd have the 3 barrels be cosmetic, and it just shoots out of the center barrel.
Well, I guess there's a question. Does anyone know if he does? I think he does a Star Wars themed one.
Who?
Aaron.
Oh, probably.
Because then, if this all works out, again, this is just spitballing, people. This is not canon. This is not this is going to happen. Because then, if he's got a Star Wars one and he agrees to it, maybe that's what we do. Armored Mandalorian for next year, and that gives us like full bunch of months and plan for like a springtime visit with full on stupid crazy Mando armor.
Nope.
Oh, I love it when ideas happen.
They're fun.
They are fun, man. Don't be afraid to think out of the box and think dumb, because it's amazing what it leads to. Look at what we're doing. Not because we thought one day this was a logical thing that made sense. We hit play, and now we do shows.
And now we're here. We were bored and worn out. And like, let's just do a live stream. Let's do a live stream.
Yeah, now let's do a live stream.
If you have a Marshmallow Extreme Blaster, you can cut off the muzzle and make it shoot Mega XL. That doesn't surprise me.
That would be too bad.
I've got 2 different barrels that fit Mega XL, and then N-Strike Nerf the barrel that's inside an N-Strike barrel attachment. If you take that apart, there's that barrel. That is the exact inside diameter of Mega XL.
Really?
Yeah.
That makes it easier.
It also perfectly fits Ultra.
Nice.
Which was hilarious when I discovered that, because the very first attachment that I ever made for Ire to use it, the Titan tank, was just a section of Nerf barrel. And originally I was firing old Whistler darts because they would fit fairly well. But it would also fire Nerf arrows. The old Nerf arrows are the same inside diameter as Mega XL. And so, I built that attachment back in 2012. And 10 years later, or how many years later that Ultra and Mega XL comes out, it turns out that original attachment works perfectly for their Nerf's new ammo types. Baffling.
Of course it does. Why would it not? It is. I tell you, it is.
Yeah, and then like Dart Zone and Worker, their Scar barrels are the exact diameter as well. So you can fire Mega XL off of a Scar barrel. Like on a Harrier, just shove it on dry fire.
What about a clear Harrier?
Well, if you've got the Scar barrel on, then yeah. And the Scar barrels are translucent, so there you go.
This works, man.
Yeah.
This works. Ladies and gentlemen, in the comments, if you have any questions, feel free to ask questions. Don't be shy. Usually this is a call-in show. However, I think our men behind the curtain are on vacation, so the guys.
We don't have the man with the button. We ain't got no button.
We got no button. We got no man with the button, so all is safe. So we can pretend we have a caller. Hello. Yeah, no, that's not going to work. So yeah, we'd you can't call in today, but you can comment. We are reading the chat section. If you have any
We
statements
are
or
indeed. We
comments,
both have the chat
feel
open, so if you have
free.
questions, please ask questions. Ask us whatever you want. We might not
Absolutely,
answer it, but
otherwise,
by all means,
yeah.
ask the questions.
Maybe we'll turn it on them and ask them questions. And then if you don't answer the question in 5 seconds, we will systematically boot you from the chat.
Yeah, there we go. What do you think should be my next big end of the year build?
Yes.
There's a question for the chat. I have some ideas. In both cases, the blaster wouldn't be that hard. The costume to go with the blaster would be hard.
Full auto, backpack fed, shoulder mount cannon.
Ooh. Shoulder mount.
Yep.
The trick would be getting it to traverse.
So actually, here's another idea then. What about, because you have been blessed with a smaller skull than mine, and what led me to this is because as soon as you think shoulder mount, right, you think Predator, but then also when I thought Predator, I know you can get like Predator with the braids, the Predator
Yeah,
motorcycle
the mask.
helmets.
Yeah.
So then instead of like going Predator theme, which you can, but at the same time, if you can thrift a dirt bike helmet or again like a proper motorcycle mask, so instead of shoulder mounted, but have it mounted on the actual helmet, like right here. That way, wherever
Um,
you move your head, it fires
Dr.
instead
Pugh
of on
did
your
that.
shoulder.
Dr. Pugh did a head-mounted proton pack, and it could
Of
fire
course
either
he did.
forward or backward.
Of course he did something like that.
Yeah,
Well,
because he is a madman.
expand on it, man. But that wouldn't be too bad. That way you get the wherever you're looking, it's shooting.
That would be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's see what we got in the chat. What are your thoughts on making a blaster? I think it's a wonderful idea. You should do it. Do I prefer the Yeet hammer or the Wild style? The Wild style has better ergonomics. The grip is better shaped. It's rounded. The Yeet Yeet hammer. Oh, see now that's a tough one. The Wild style is easier to swap out shells. Honestly, the Yeet hammer has the ejection, which is cool. If you're not paying attention, it'll eject it right into your face, which someone who came to visit last weekend discovered. They were looking at it, popped it open, just right between the eyes. And it's got some force behind it. I love the design of the Yeet hammer. It is so cyberpunk, sci-fi, not even remotely real steel looking, and I appreciate that. There needs to be more of that level of just absurd sci-fi, non-real steel look.
Yes.
Just better for the hobby, and it just looks cool. The greebling on it is amazing. Spire did a fabulous job. I hope she designs more stuff.
No kidding. That'd be very cool, man.
Some features that I would have liked to have seen is I would have liked to have been able to prime it without the shell ejecting.
Oh,
In
okay.
case you just like if you're putting Mega XL, I would like to be able to muzzle load it without
Yeah.
the shell always ejecting. Or if you were to make a demolisher rocket shell that fit, you wouldn't want that to eject. You'd want to just muzzle load a new rocket. And I'm
Yeah.
not sure how difficult it would be to add an interrupt so that it doesn't eject, or have a way to disable the make it so the door just doesn't ever open.
I'm sure there's a way.
I'm sure, but since I didn't assemble mine, it came assembled. I have no idea what's going on inside and how difficult that would be, if it'd be even possible with the way it's designed, or that it's just completely designed from the ground up. But they're both just super, super cool. I do plan to build loadouts around them, which more people are designing more stuff. Somebody's designing a Silly Butts shell kit for the Fate. I'd love to see one designed for the Pilot. I definitely want to build one for a Sledgefire. And personally, I'd rather have that one not be 3D printed. I would rather figure out a hardware way to create just an insert, or maybe a 3D printed kit, but that goes in the original barrel, so it's not a 3D printed barrel on the Sledgefire. And then a new stock that takes silly butt shells instead of Sledgefire shells. Because that's the problem with Sledgefires. You find them in the stores, but there's never any shells. And Sledgefire shells don't print very well, whereas the silly shells print wonderfully.
I love, for the longest time, you could actually order Sledgefire shells off of Hasbro.com. And
$5
I did.
for 3, and I wish I'd ordered $100 worth.
I know. I'm out, but of the ones I have left, I surprisingly have, I think, almost a full set for each one, and I have about 7 or 8 Sledgefires.
I've got a fair number of them because I've hoarded them.
No, that doesn't
let's see,
happen.
what do we got? Team Nightingale or Team Venom? I still favor the Nightingale for a variety of reasons. I like the look, I like the color, I like the ergonomics a little bit better. The Venom is cheaper. It comes with a battery. It comes with 2 magazines. It is by far a better deal. And out of the box, I think it actually outperforms or performs equal to the Nightingale. So it's not my preference ergonomically, though. People have already created kits for it. There's a muzzle kit that already exists to make it not look quite so stubby. And there's a kit to, instead of having the rev be the grip where you squeeze it, it's a dual stage trigger like the Nightingales. That was just a matter of, they put a plate for you to mount it on, and you move the switch internally. Had to make a few other minor changes, but surprisingly, pretty much everyone that I've handed a Venom to, they're like, well, I don't like the mag and grip, and then they pick it up and like, or the grip rev, and they're like, oh no, that actually makes sense. It works. Maybe don't judge things until you've picked them up.
No,
Maybe
that never happens in our hobby.
On YouTube.
No, that never happens in our hobby. I know what you're talking about. Preposterous. Oh, by the way, CR Nerf, Team Venom, because I can't afford a Nightingale. Yes, that is a great reason to.
What was the question?
No, CR Nerf said he's Team Venom because he can't afford a Nightingale right now.
There is that. Like I said, it's much cheaper, and it's not just cheaper. It's a better deal. You get twice as many mags and the battery and charger, which you don't get with a Nightingale. You get 1 mag and no battery, so it's a much better deal. And it's available at Walmart or Target.
Well, it depends where you are, because then Jaeger Collect says at the moment he's Team Nightingale because he can't get the Venom Pro.
Yeah, see? Yeah, there you go.
What
HVZ would you guys be interested in going to? So next year, I'm hoping to attend a lot of HVZs. I want to do Mayhem. I want to do Survival Fest. I want to do End War. I want to do Rag, and I want to do Mall Madness.
Oh, wow.
I'm hoping to do all 5 of those, and ideally do them as full deployments. Calling up auxiliary in the whole 9 yards.
Wow, dude.
Yeah, I took this year off so that I could prep for next year. Did anyone else hear the night says bringing back the Proton Pack? It was never gone. The problem was they couldn't get the control boards because of the chip shortage, because of crypto morons ruining the world for us. And now they can supposedly finally get the boards again. They have like 500 of them printed, sitting in a box, waiting for the boards.
Wow, still.
And so, yeah, when they do come back, I will be buying another one.
No kidding. Does he have, so off the record, does he have an ETA when the boards are supposed to arrive? Off the record.
I got nothing. I haven't
All right.
asked. Starting, I need to actually solidify that. I want to start doing more collaborations, and I want to do them with Flux and Out of Darts. Out of Darts has a burning need to get rid of pallets. I have a need to get a hold of some pallets, and so I want to make it a monthly thing where I go down there and pick up pallets, and then film something real quick, review whatever the newest thing he's got in, and maybe review something that he's got overstocked or whatever, and just do a quick review video on while I'm down there. and then I want to go after the competitive games. We have Waffle Games, which are up near where Flux Labs is. After the competitive, go over to Flux Labs and do a thing, film something, shoot something, talk, whatever, maybe live stream, whatever.
Yeah.
Because got to get out of this hermit hole before I go nuts.
Yes, you do. That's awesome, man. I love it. That's going to be good, man. Great. If you go to all those events, I got to go to a bunch of events. I guess I know what I'm doing next year. Plus conventions. Oh, man. All right. We'll see how next year plays out. All right, cool. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, email me if I'm at Endor. We can try to do something. Obviously, if it's a full deployment, I'm gonna be busy because I'm going to be wrangling a squad of 30 auxiliary. But it's a long weekend and there's a lot going on. I don't plan to take part in the tournament, so I mean, obviously, we could do something then. We could do color commentary, just on the sidelines, heckling live.
I've never experienced that before. I don't know what you're talking about.
No, certainly not. Sure. I would never do anything.
Didn't we heckle our own team?
Yes, we did.
I mean, coach, support, yes. Coach and support.
The Venom mags are really nice. They are lower capacity.
Yeah.
Which is either you like it or you don't like it. They're also green, which really isn't my color. And I should have marked mine because one of them wandered off. Plus, I should have known better than to give somebody more than one mag in a loner blaster because you know you're only going to get one back.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I gotta get me a Venom. I do not have them, so I gotta get that to try them out.
Yeah.
So wait, here's a question. So will you be even more Team Venom when inevitably 3D printed solid creates the drop leg holster for it?
No, because I already have Nightingale drop leg holsters.
Oh yeah, that's right. Therefore, you'll never get any other drop leg holsters, just those. Come on, man.
No, they'll never show.
No.
I will definitely be more Team Venom if they come out with an orange one. Which
there we go.
Going.
No, that's true.
But the nice thing is, my other favorite color, if it's not orange, it's green. So that works for me.
There you go. So you just print the drop leg holsters in the new fancy orange filament you got. Bingo.
Yeah, something like that. No, I could definitely be convinced to run dual Nightingales as an HVZ loadout, because orange is good or green is an appropriate HVZ color.
Yes.
And since you can just shove a dart zone scar barrel in them and it gets them down to 110 FPS, so HVZ ready right there.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, no, the Venom is insane for the price it is. It's a steal.
Oh, which reminds me,
because 2 mags, battery, charger, and the blaster.
Which reminds me, so clearly things like this is because Dart Zone listens. So you want to remind people how people can send comments to Dart Zone or ideas?
Oh yeah, there is a Dart Zone Idea Lab.
Oh yeah, what was it called? The something lab. Damn it! It's on the website, isn't it?
Yeah.
What is it?
If you just I'm going to search Dart Zone Idea Lab. Sure enough,
that
Dart Zone Idea Lab. dartzoneblaster.com/idea-lab. There is a form that you can just submit your ideas to Dart Zone. What do you want to see? You want Dart Zone to come out with a lever action blaster? We petitioned them like, Dart Zone was like, what do you want? Like, we want a hammer prime blaster that hits over 100 feet per second. And they gave us the Outlaw. Now we need to harangue them until they give us a good lever action blaster. Because there hasn't been a really good one since the Sentinel.
Yep.
The Scavenger and the Slingfire aren't bad, but they're not over 100 FPS.
Yeah.
I would love a lever action half dart 100 FPS blaster. With Dart Zone's level of quality, performance.
Yes.
Out of the box, 300 FPS. They legally can't.
Yeah, because it's no longer a toy.
Anything over 200. The problem with the slab is it's 3D printed. I want injection molded because 3D printing was never meant for final product. It was only ever meant for rapid prototyping. They're fragile, they break, they warp, they're tolerancing. Give me injection molded. Give me a factory quality, something designed with the R&D of a corporation rather than some guy in his basement. Some people do fabulous designs, others get them working and then stop the R&D. There's so many amazing 3D printed blasters that are just a few iterations short of production quality, which is why I want it from Dart Zone. How many different 3D printed auto pistols did we had, and the Venom comes out and is magnificent.
But yeah, the point is they do read it, but the thing is, just because you have two ideas, it's not like it's going to happen. But mind you, if there is a large collective where they realize, wow, we just got X amount of requests in, suddenly they look at it and say, maybe we do this. So don't be discouraged, especially if you got an idea that you really think is going to happen and you want them to hear. Again, share, tell other people, hijack other people's email accounts, or just tell them to email in your idea. But it is a viable platform where it is actually listened to. Now, just because you submitted an idea doesn't mean it's going to happen. But I'll tell you, this is better than not doing nothing and just complaining. I don't know why they don't do that. Well, because get off your butt and do something about it.
The number of things that I've built and videos that I've made because I got one random comment on another video, and you're like, that is a fabulous idea. I would have never thought of that. Excuse me while I go do it. Yep. That kind of thing does occasionally happen. So throw your wild ideas out there. Now, if everybody puts in and just says, we want a lever action blaster, if they get 1,000 people asking for a lever action blaster, there's a really good chance they will then take the time to develop one. But there is also the possibility that one person sends in one absolutely genius idea and they just go, we're doing that. That's a thing now. So yeah, by all means, submit your ideas, because if you don't submit the idea, it definitely isn't going to happen.
Yep.
Shell strike shells or Busby shells? I would go shell strike just because they're multi-shot. Busby shells really only worked well with Busby darts. Though there were some interesting blasters. Like they had a magazine-fed shell blaster that I can never remember the name of. It's got a weird name.
Yeah, I had one. I don't know where it is.
Sticky darts or whistlers? Whistlers. I like me whistlers.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you get them going fast enough, they scream.
Actually, there's something to submit. Submit to the Creative Lab a second ammo type, a large caliber ammo type.
Yeah, the downside is, from what I understand, for them to introduce a new ammo type, they have to get rid of an old ammo type. And at this point, what they're likely to get rid of would be their version of Rival. And I don't know that I want to lose their version of Rival.
Yeah. Fair point. Never mind, carry on. Carry on. But yeah. What was the link for that
again? The downside
of
the shell strike was that it wasn't round.
Yeah.
Which was a problem because that makes it difficult to put into a tube magazine, a box magazine. It makes it a little bit more difficult to load because it has to load into a specific direction, which can lead things to jam. Whereas if you design it where it's round and it doesn't matter which way it goes in, which is why things like the Spring Thunder is a round shell and the Silly Butts is a round shell.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what way it goes in. You can put it into a magazine. You can put it into a tube. You can
do stuff.
That's definitely an advantage. And the Busby shells were round, but they only took one dart, and they really only fired Busby darts particularly well.
Yeah.
What is a slarp? I am not familiar with the slarp.
Is a lot more fun than a slab. I have no idea. Considering the name, I'm guessing it is a weapon of medieval
lever action repeating pistol. What's the RP?
I don't know.
They are a bit the Dart Zone rival rounds are more expensive, but they are also higher quality.
Yep. There's a reason.
The only rival that I can think of that was distinctly better were the Proton rounds, but they're not made anymore. Though they may be coming back. That's another one that may be coming back. They made them, but then they just couldn't compete with Headshot. Headshot could make it cheaper and were decent enough quality that people were going with Headshot. But then Headshot's quality just went completely to junk. But they didn't get the Proton rounds going back again, and the Proton rounds were primo for Proton packs. That's what they were obviously designed for.
Mm-hmm.
And a thicker coating, so they frayed less.
There you go. A slarp is a slab that looks like a lever action Winchester Russian contract.
So it's a okay, yeah, a LARP slab. Got it. That makes sense.
Mm-hmm. There we go.
My main one from Dart Zone is a simple full auto flywheeler instead of the failed select fire offerings. They did one better with it in the mag and a grip factor. Still need the big one. Yeah, that's kind of the downside of select fire. It's anything that you make that can do lots of different things. They're typically not going to do any of them as well as they would if that's all they did. Kind of the jack of all trades, master of none sort of thing. The Mark III had full auto and semi-auto, but the full auto had a really slow rate of fire and was kind of clunky, and the selector had a tendency to jam and have issues, whereas I loved its semi-auto. It was a super snappy semi-auto, so that one I just leave in semi-auto. I could give a toss about the full auto. The Omnia, the only setting it had that was any good was the full auto setting, where it's a solid 7 darts a second and it fires really well. But if you go to either burst or semi-auto, it's got a delay on the trigger still, or a bit of a delay. The Mark IIs were better than the original releases, but it was still far better on full auto. And there were mods that you could do that would improve it. But I agree with you. A dedicated full auto and a dedicated semi-auto would be really, really cool. Because their semi-autos, their Spectrum, the Thunderbolt, their Strife equivalents have been fabulous out of the box. 100 FPS, magazine fed. Out of the box, here's an HVC primary. Run with it. No mods needed. Really. I'd love to see them make a half-dart version of that. Because so far they've all been full dart, and I don't think they were easy to convert. Or probably weren't hard to convert, but
if only there was a forum that people could go to make those suggestions.
Yeah, make those suggestions. The Maxim Pro is not talked about enough. Buffer tube, stock attachment points, so awesome. Is the Maxim Pro out?
I haven't seen them yet. Yeah, are they out? Because that is probably exactly what we're talking about. Short dart. I think it is about 100 FPS, is it not? Or is it more? But then again, I don't know if it's out.
No, it does not appear to be. Or if it is, it's not available on their website yet. But,
that's why. That's giving me an idea. All right, that makes sense. All right.
It's half dart only.
Yeah.
150 FPS.
I don't know if there's a launch date yet or not for it.
Is it semi-auto? I'm assuming it's semi-auto.
I think it is a semi-auto.
And where's the rev?
And I think it's Adventure Force, so it's a Walmart exclusive, I do believe.
It's Tactical Strike. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it looks like it might be another grip rev. It's got to be grip rev.
I think it is. Don't quote me on that.
The look of it. Oh, and it's translucent orange.
Oh.
And
no.
It's looks like the stock comes off, which means you could use them as pistols. All right, well, I'll be buying a pair of those the moment they drop.
There we go.
Good call on that. Oh, what do we got?
I think you know what?
Built a trebuchet for launching pumpkins.
Woo! He's
I
ready.
have launched. I used to play. Me and a friend used to play bocce with trebuchets.
Bocce with trebuchets.
Yeah.
How big was the
While cussing at
trebuchet?
each other in French.
Love it.
To lead a much more interesting life.
I tell you, if that large trebuchet, please tell me you have a giant skeleton or a couple of giant skeletons that can man the thing that look like they're actually using it to fire it. I think because that would be wicked Halloween.
That would be great for Halloween. Yeah.
I
Especially
do
if you
have.
can. You'd need a pumpkin that's burning. It's flaming on the inside on the trebuchet.
Yes.
Fire coming out the top and a couple of skeletons with weapons.
All right, that's what we're doing in October. We're building a trebuchet at your house. Come on.
Semi-auto.
Fire at your neighbors.
Translucent orange. Yep. No, unfortunately you cannot call in. The person responsible for running that is spending time with his family.
Something like that.
Something like that. It's like he cares about his wife and kids.
I know. What's up with that?
Beautiful.
Come on. That is crazy.
Favorite Elite 2.0 blaster? No.
Strife?
That's Elite, not Elite 2.0.
Yeah, fair. Oh, 2.0?
What?
Yeah, nothing. Nothing,
what are we talking about? Oh, Motoblitz. The Motoblitz, obviously.
What about
the
Motoblitz?
Storm Charger is also pretty cool. Motoblitz and the Storm Charger were both Elite 2.0.
Motoblitz, yeah. Storm Charger, yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
Just a Strife.
Yeah. Yeah.
But Motoblitz, gotta go with the Motoblitz because it's the first time we've seen. Well, not the first time, but it's the return of compressed air.
Woo!
Of PA. Now that Lonnie Johnson got his money like he should.
Weapons of Medieval Destruction, where are you located, buddy?
It's an easy jump into Nerf. I mean, you start with the foam swords and then you just add firearms.
Yes.
The Trailblazer isn't bad. Also, the grip was just weirdly small.
Mm-hmm.
But then I got custom large grips made that match my hand.
Of course you did.
Double punch. You did. The double punch is 2.0? Really?
Is it? Where is mine? Mine's somewhere.
I've got one in a box. Oh, it is 2.0.
Yeah. Look at that.
They snuck all the good stuff in at the end. I should get my hands on a Corruptor just because I don't have one.
All right, you're in New England. Could split up into Canada, and especially do an event.
Does it actually come with a 22-round magazine, or is it an 18-round magazine and they just give you 22 darts? That looks like a long mag.
It's 2 mags. It's double mags in the double punch.
I'm not talking about the double punch anymore. I'm looking at the Corruptor.
Oh, the Corruptor.
New Dart Zone or Zombie Strike.
Oh yeah, that thing. Corruptor, where's that?
So it appears to be bolt action, so I've lost interest.
It's over. Back to Weapons of Medieval Destruction. Reach out to Maritime Foam. Especially if you want to do Nerf events, he likes throwing them, depending on proximity and his interest. Try hitting up Anthony, Maritime Foam. He is a member. He is one of our core group of the World Foam Alliance, too. So, in our limited capacity, we still try to reach out and do as much as we can. Which reminds me, like the video, please. Like the video, share the video, like the video. Like the video, like the video,
Help us grow
share the video.
World Foam Alliance.
Subscribe, grow it, share it, like it, love it.
Ooh,
hit the button.
Fortnite
You're not that
blaster.
busy. Hit the thumb like button. Come on, man. But give us the thumbs up. Thumbs up, just like that. I know. I forget to do it too. Until someone yells at me, then I remember and go, oh man, I should hit the thumbs up button. I'm not yelling because I'm mad. It's just because then it gets your attention. Especially in case we put you to sleep. Then I'm waking you up now. Thumbs up!
Wait, did they make an orange version or is that red? Oh, it's a squirt gun.
No.
Those. Wretches.
Ooh,
I liked the
squirt
flare gun. I rather liked the flare gun, the Fortnite flare gun. The Fortnite Tommy gun is neat looking.
It is.
The
Susan, where are you located, buddy?
The ARL just looks like a las rifle from 40K.
Mm-hmm.
So that one's pretty cool. The Fortnite Strife. I really like the look of that thing.
Yep.
That was a really cool
Fortnite Stripe. Is that a new one, or is that came out before?
No, it's the purple strife looking thing.
Oh, that one. Yeah. I got it. I got a couple of those.
Yeah, that's a neat looking one.
How many stripes do you think you have?
50.
How many bins do you have? How many stripe bins do you have?
One very overflowing one. So I went to the trouble of going to England to Scotland just to smuggle home the UK Strife release, and now I don't know where it went. It has wandered off, and I am distraught.
Do I got to get you
one? I knew where it was, and I don't know if I grabbed it thinking it was a blue one and gave it to someone, or what happened to it. But it's gone away now, and I am sad. It's probably just fallen into another bin.
Remind me, because I should be meeting a couple of people when I'm over in Scotland, because I'm going to be in Glasgow, Edinburgh, Inverness. I'm doing the whole thing. So any of our Scotland friends reach out, and I might make them come and see me sing in a church choir, but then I can acquire it for you.
There's Sergeant Spectre of the Auxiliaries in Glasgow.
There it is. So I got to reach out to him, let him know I'm coming, because then also Alan Glaswell, he's in Glasgow too, and I think we're going to be meeting on like September 1st or 2nd, whatever that Sunday is in Glasgow. I got to reach out to him and let him know. That'll be fun.
Trying to remember what the one is. That
Captain Shotgun, where are you located, buddy?
Oh, there it is.
All right, Suit
the
Sun.
CQ10.
Hey, Cap, do you remember who do we got out in Colorado, Denver area, Illinois? Do we have any groups?
Suit Sun is asking there's the Mile High Nerf Club, and I think there's a DNC, Denver Nerf Club.
There you go. So, Suit Sun, start with that at first. Reach out to your local clubs, because that way, again, this is what our whole goal and purpose of what the World Foam Alliance is, to let you know that there are people around you and surrounding you. So look out for those two clubs. Try to find them on the socials, and that way go out to there, and that'd be a great place to start. That way you can really assess what kind of resources, people you have locally, and there you can start building from there.
There's a lot of groups in the Midwest and the Illinois, that whole corridor. I don't remember what any of them are called, but I know they're out there. I could probably look them up on I wonder if is Dart Sweep IO still a thing?
I think so. I know he exists. I don't know. Cat, okay, down in South Carolina, and you need strifes. So actually, how far away are you from the Atlanta group?
Clubs. Let's see.
The Atlanta Blaster Club on WFA website. I'll probably start my own group in a few years. Yeah. So how far away is that Atlanta drive for you?
Dutch Nerf community.
200 miles. Okay. Community.
Polish.
So the one thing is, instead of getting it a ship, is you can always find their Facebook page, comment when you're going, and sometimes those in-person meetings you can arrange for trades where people like myself or other people are just trying to move and get rid of stuff that they have a lot of. So that's one way of like for example, since if you're looking for like an X amount of stripes, but you don't want to go buy new ones that are still about $25 to $30, man. If you find local clubs that you know you're going to be attending to, you can always put out the message and say, hey, I'm going to be attending. Also looking if anyone has any stripes. So someone might say, hey, yeah, I got this. And that's one way of facilitating without dealing with like shipping product. So that'd be like
Yeah.
one way of approaching it. I guess the other thing is, how far away are you from Raleigh? Because you got the Raleigh Nerf Club as well, and they're pretty active, and they got some members.
And nothing else. Start a club. I got a whole video on how to start a Nerf club.
Which he said he's probably going to do. But in the meantime, also, if you want to hit something local, that's also one way of doing it.
Yeah, it's always a good idea to go see how other people do it, because it really helps.
Yeah.
That's something that, again, the World Foam Alliance is trying to eventually work towards, is helping get put together starter kits for clubs, or at the very least put together a what to buy and where to get it thing for Nerf clubs.
Correct.
What did y'all think of X-Men 97? I believe it happened. I have not watched it.
What is X-Men 97?
It's a X-Men cartoon they recently came out with.
Oh, is it like
Modeled-
because I remember when it first came out, the Saturday morning cartoons, man. Which some of you are not old enough to know what I'm talking about. I watched it.
Yeah, it's strongly linked or based or an homage to, whatever you want to say, the original X-Men cartoon.
Oh, perfect. See, Captain Shotgun, yeah, dude, out in Raleigh. I think it's the Raleigh NCC or Raleigh Nerf Club, but they organized pretty quickly right there in downtown. I was there too. Whatever that downtown park is that used to be the asylum, but then now is like the big, like a central park for the area. I always forget the name of it, but that's where they usually meet.
Yeah, finding people who are doing commissions for mods is another thing that it's difficult to do, and the biggest issue potentially is vetting, quality control.
Yep.
I've had people bring me blasters modded blasters that they got on Etsy that were clearly modded by a 12-year-old monkey that had a soldering iron duct taped in his hand. It's going, I don't know what this person was doing. I don't know what's going on. Let me just fix it. And he probably paid an exorbitant amount for it. Whereas if you're anywhere in the Pacific Northwest, you can just come to the makerspace on a weekday afternoon, and we'll mod something for you. Only the first one's free. I think we bought all the Venoms in central Minnesota. Good for you.
Nice. Absolutely, brother. What's going on, man? That's so again, part of the build out for the World Foam Alliance web. So for worldfoamalliance.org will actually be a space for vendors, for vetted vendors in terms of like obviously your big shops, but at the same time, people that do mods or commissions. We will be introducing that as well, and that will be part of our platform in terms of what we're able to deliver. Again, if someone wants to write me a big check where suddenly people don't have to work full-time jobs and they can go program this website for us in a heartbeat, we'll accept big checks like that. In the meantime, we are working towards it. A plan is in place. It's just sometimes, mortgage, rent, and life has to come first for some reason.
Slowly building it. I'd rather we take our time and build it right than try to push it out and build it wrong.
Correct.
But yeah, getting people in touch with people who are taking commissions is a really good thing. As well as, obviously a huge part of my channel is teaching people how to mod. But if you don't have the tools and you don't have the skills, it's daunting to start, and it can be expensive. That's the thing that a lot of people don't understand when they go to get someone to commission somebody, is for some reason people always think that commissions should only cost materials, which is not how commissions work. You're also paying for their tools, maintenance, consumable materials, glue, solder, shrink wrap, all of that, as well as their time and their skills, which are, you're talking about skilled labor. That's never going to be cheap. It shouldn't be cheap. And so people will often, go to get a commission thinking it's going to be, $50, $60, and they get a quote for $300, and they don't understand why.
Yep.
And On the alternative, you get the $50 blaster, and you get $50 worth of mods, which is going to be dubious. But
very.
You got to start somewhere. And in some cases, again, if you start a Nerf club, you can do similar to what I did and pool your resources and put together a makerspace where you only have to buy one set of tools, but everyone gets access to all of the tools in one place, and you can come together and help each other and build. That was the concept behind the makerspace. Was to somewhere where people who didn't know how to mod, who didn't have the tools, could come to the makerspace and use the tools and learn how to mod. It's I had the advantage that when I got into Nerf modding, I already had most of the tools, a lot of the tools, because of other hobbies that I did. I already had most of the heavy tools, belt sander and Dremels and drill press and bandsaw. I had all of those tools from my medieval recreation days when I made armor and weapons and stuff.
Yep.
Which has definitely
miter saw, table saw.
Yeah, it definitely seriously impacted my approach to Nerf modding because I came to it from armor making and making weapons that had to hold up to being hit with axes and hitting other axes and swords and so when somebody builds a Nerf blaster that's 3D printed, held together with hot glue, I'm looking at it going,
nope.
But you can't drop it. What if you have to drop it? Which is why a lot of mine are held together with sheet metal and bolts.
I can't show one of that, but yeah, screws, glued and screwed, man. Like, come on.
Glue, yeah, I don't trust glue. I want something that's screwed together and held together with metal plates.
Correct. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, even though this is a call-in show, the man behind the curtain that runs our phones is on vacation. So we got, even though there's a link there, the phones are dead today. It's not because we're antisocial or we didn't pay the bills. It's just the person that runs it, it's on vacation. It's like we're in July or something and people go to the beach.
Weird. Yeah, soldering isn't nearly as difficult as you'd think once you have the right tools. When I first got into Nerf modding, I did not have a good soldering iron. And I could, for the life of me, not figure out how to get solder to work. And I thought it was a nightmare and horrible, and why would anybody do this? And then somebody was visiting who knew how to properly solder. They'd done it professionally. And were watching me going, what on earth are you doing? And she showed me, first of all, this soldering iron is not hot enough. Second of all, you're doing it all wrong. So then I learned how to do it properly, and it's so much easier if you have the right tools and the right kind of flux and the right kind of solder and know how to keep your tools maintained, and
which is just a general great life skill.
Yeah, the more skills you can learn, the better. It's not on my list of skills that you absolutely should know, because if you don't know, you die. But it's a good skill.
Absolutely.
Someday I'll actually put that into an actual list.
One day.
It's things like swimming. You should know how to swim, because if you find yourself needing to know how to swim and you don't, you die.
Yes.
How to drive a stick shift. That's also on the list.
It is. All right, it is 9:58. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be... Lord. It is. Time flies when you're having fun, man. As always, thanks for tuning in and watching us here at the World Foam Alliance. If you haven't done so already, go over to worldfoamalliance.org. Be sure to register. Why do you need to register? So people can find you, we can find you, and then you can find other people, and that way you can actually do things. Also, World Foam Alliance YouTube channel. Please make sure to register. Go ahead and subscribe to our channel. Hit the like button. Share it. Again, share it to other people. We try to get subscriptions up. The more subscriptions we get, we can actually make money. When we actually make money, then we can actually put it back into the website and the fun things we do. Otherwise, it's sweat equity, which we do not mind doing. It's just sometimes it'll take a little longer than when you get to pay people. We do this because we love it, and not because we're becoming rich off of it. Yeah, but not even. Anyways, no. So don't forget to register. Also, coming up Wednesday, it's going to be the Foam Zone. It will not be with Andrew, aka Dark Sweet. It will actually be Anthony, Maritime Foam, will be filling in for Andrew. And we're going to have people from the Atlanta Club talking about their event coming up. Also, don't forget, next weekend is APOC BPOC. It is in the New Jersey area. Look it up. It is a great event. If you can attend it, do it. Do it. Do it. It's in Jersey. It'll be great. I will not be there. Cap will not be there. I'm going to be at Otakon in the DC area. Otakon is a Japanese festival, anime-centric, happening at the Downtown Convention Center in Washington, D.C. Come find me if you're in the area. I will have a booth. You can come see my stuff, ask questions, and if you want to give me money to buy stuff, you can, but I will not make you do that, and I will hand out stickers like I always do. After that, we have the final convention for Dart Zone this year. It's going to be at the Fan Expo happening in Chicago. That is the weekend of August 17th. I will be there. Andrew Dart Sweep will be there. Wolfguard Cosplay will be there. A couple of men behind the curtain might be there. And a few other words. I think one CR Nerf is making the drive out from Iowa to go see us, and you can come see him. If you're in the Chicago area, come find us. Come check us out. It's going to be a lot of fun. Other events, again, the Atlanta Blaster one's happening. It's going to be a tournament. It is the weekend of August 10th and 11th. Foam Fest is happening in the UK same weekend. And also you have Jared's Epic Blaster Battle, which is happening next weekend too, if you're in the Texas area. Tomorrow, as you know, it's another episode of The Range. Cap, tell us what you're doing, buddy.
Silly shells. Nothing but silly shells. I have 3 blasters now that can all fire silly shells, and they will fire all of the ammo types that y'all voted for. So you're getting silly shells. As soon as this is over, I'm going to go put on pants and get out to the range before it gets too dark. And have some fun with silly shells.
There you go. That's happening. Range will be released tomorrow. Other than that, ladies and gentlemen, thanks again for tuning in. Thanks again for being you, man. Thanks for making this happen and being here. So that it's just
good questions. Somebody asked, is Foam Zone a call-in show?
They do have a phone, and yes, it can be, not as much as ours, and I think we will actually have someone to run the phones for that.
Yes, it's supposed to be a call-in show. This is supposed to be a call-in show. Today we just did comments, and I very much appreciate all the comments. We got a lot of good comments.
Absolutely, this is great.
Somebody asked one we didn't get to, what's my favorite mechanic I've seen in an HVZ? It was actually one of the coolest ones that I've seen in a long time, and I really, really liked it, was at Maryland Mayhem this year, where they created a bunch of super zombies, but if the super zombie managed to tag somebody, they had to give their special ability to the person that was tagged. And I love that mechanic, because getting taken out by a super zombie sucks, because sometimes there was nothing you could do. You didn't have the right kind of ammo, or there was just no way for you to get out of the way, whatever. But now you get to have that special ability too. And I really, really like that as a let's make this fun for everyone mechanic. Instead of having the same 3 people have all the superpowers and get all of the tags all day long, having to hand it off. Loved that as a mechanic.
That was good. I'm glad you got that in, man.
Yeah.
Yes.
Cool.
All right.
The time has come.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Get off my lawn.
Get off my lawn.